Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be going without a cam. I'm still not feeling too well with my stomach situation, but I didn't really feel on going on camera today. But we have a brand new announcement that just popped up, and we're going to be getting our first ever 2x Primal Shards summoning event, guys. So they're going to be releasing it for this Cyber Monday, and it's just, I don't know if it's an exclusive event or not, but we're going to be able to get a 2x chance of getting mythical champions from our Primal Shards on Monday. So what that means is you have a 1% chance of getting a mythical champion versus the original 0.5% chance, which is pretty rough. Would be like, what, you have a 1 in a 200 chance of getting a mythical champion normally, but now you'll have a 1 in 100 chance of getting a mythical. But if you are super unlucky, you'll still probably go to the 200 mark, which is then you have an increase of a certain percentage to start hitting mercy, right? So after, what is it again, for, I think it's for 10% increase. So yeah, so by the time you get to 210, you'll get a guaranteed mythical, worst case scenario. But 1% chance is still better than a 0.5% chance, which is still something, right? Excuse me. But yeah, so as far as the champions goes, this is an event I'm sure a lot of you, I don't know if you were looking forward to, but it is something that's never happened before. But I guess we'll just run through some of the champions that are available and just talk about, is this something you'd be interested in or not? Or maybe you want to pull the trigger and maybe you saved up some shards and to go for or not. I don't know if they would ever do a 10x event for mythical champions. I mean, never say never, but considering this is a very exclusive event because it's, I guess, Cyber Monday, there's a good chance they could do it again. But we still don't have 10x summons for, like, let's say, or even 2x summons for soul stones. So I'm not sure if they would add any 10x summons for mythical, but again, never say never. But as far as some of the champions go, Siegfried, I mean, he's a pretty cool champion. I think a lot of you would definitely make use of almost all these mythical champions that are available, to be honest. But yeah, he has a lot of cool abilities here, and like I'm not going to go over all these abilities because it's a lot, but all these mythical champions have two different modes, and this one has a support mode and this one also has a attack side mode. But I think Siegfried, if I believe, is one of the lesser appealing champions out of the bunch, but he's definitely one of the cooler looking ones. I don't know, let me know what you guys think of this champion, where you guys use him, if you guys currently have him. But he's not one of the top 2 that, I guess, from an endgame perspective, you would look at. So let's just go on to the next one here. So for the next champion we have is, I believe, oh no, that's Siegfried again. Barbarian, we don't have any. Organ, we don't have any. Lizardman, we do have one. Okay, so this is probably one of the other top 3 mythical champions you could look forward to getting, because this guy is an absolute beast. I did do a review on this champion and did do a guide on him. Fully maxed out, but he does do a decent amount of damage. But he's like almost a Georgid, the mythical or the legendary champion, void legendary champion from Knight Revenant. That's who does a lot of damage, right? So he's really cool because he has a lot of different stuff in his kit. He's got the block debuffs he can place on enemies. So he kind of reminds me of like a warlord and a Georgid in one. So if they had a baby, you got a Hierophant. So the reason why I say that is because he has similarities of, like, I guess this kind of like a warlord, but there's another reason why that we'll get into. So he also fills a turn meter, which is pretty cool, and he has an alternate form. So when he goes to his alternate form, and he also plays a perfect veil on himself whenever it's his turn, basically. So yeah, so for the next form here, which is more interesting, he's gonna be able to do a lot of damage. He's gonna be able to ignore ally protection, strength, and shield, defense as well, and also steals turn meter before attacking. So what's really cool is whenever he does kill an enemy, he can increase the cooldown of all enemy skills by 2 turns by doing so. So in that sense, I say he's kind of like a warlord, right? But yeah, really cool champion. He does hit pretty hard. If you guys want to check out a more full in-depth review of this champion, make sure to check out my video that I posted like maybe, I think like 4 or 5 videos ago. But yeah, really cool champion. Another one that's really solid for, this guy is more made for live arena. He's an absolute beast in live arena. Not so much arena for, I guess, endgame players, because I mean, if you have a Georgid, a Georgid still ignores the stone skin, which is really crazy. but he doesn't do that. But even so, if you guys want a nuker, a solid arena champion, this is very solid for people that are still trying to, I guess, progress within the game or whatnot. But he's really cool. So on to the next one here is going to be Meso. So Meso is another really solid champion as well. She is used in arena. She is used in live arena. Really solid all around champion. She does have an attack form here, and another, just like very similar to the Georgid, she also ignores Stone Skin, strengthen ally protection and shield buff. Places a block revive debuff if the target is killed. So that's kind of cool. So she also hits pretty hard as well. She also puts a lot of buffs on herself. In this sense, she does remind me a little bit of a Georgid as well. And for the second form over here, she goes into another attack form as well, turns into a really cool werewolf, and has an AoE attack on the A1, and has a lot of other cool AoE abilities here as well. So on to the next champion. We have Garl. Garl is probably one of the other champions that are not as appealing versus, like, I guess the some of the other ones I mentioned, but she does have some cool abilities here as well. That is, like I said, a lot of these mythical champions, honestly, they're going to benefit like maybe like 80% of you out there. So no matter which one you get, I don't think you should ever be disappointed, because a lot of these champions, you don't even need to really book them per se. Like, you don't have to, because I mean this one right here, for example, like the cooldown reduction is nice and all, but most of them you don't really have to book them in order to up the percentage of whatever it is that they do, because they're already like done. All they do is extra damage here, I guess, and a little bit extra ignore. But even if you just pull them and you don't have any mythical tomes, you're still good right off the bat to just use them right away. But yeah, pretty interesting champion as well, HP based, and she does have a attack based form that she turns into, which is interesting, I guess, right? But I guess, like, if you were to build a champion, you would build it one way or another, right? HP base or the attack base. So it's kind of like the versatility is kind of out the window in that sense. But yeah, she has an AoE attack on the A1 as well, AoE on the A2 as well. And as far as her damage goes, I'm not really sure. I don't think her multipliers are that very high, but yeah, but she does have a pretty strong base damage here of attack 1608, right? Which is very similar to Trunda. And yeah, so moving on to the next champion here, we have just a few, not too many left actually. There's none in Demon Spawn, there's none in Undead yet. I mean, these are three of the most powerful factions, so I assume they'd probably get it last maybe. But one other thing to keep in mind is all these mythical champions, they don't have, there's no Void Affinity mythical champion yet, but most of them are the Blue Affinity or the Green Affinity, and there is some Red Affinity, I think. But there's another one that came out just recently. Now, he does have a really cool ability here where you don't actually, so you pull this guy, you don't need to book him. You're right off the bat just ready to use him for HP burn. 3-turn cooldown, AoE HP burn, really solid. You don't need any books. Yeah, you just 3-turn cooldown, really good to go. So that's really cool about him as well. If you don't have any tomes and you do end up pulling him as like an early game player, mid game player, etc. But yeah, he does have two different sides to him. So this attack form, he is not really a good damage dealer per se, because I did test his damage and he's not very strong. But you can still utilize him in aspects with the I guess like the HP burn, right? This is probably the one thing I would say is the best part about this form here. Nothing else here really is that appealing, to be honest. Each time this HP burn increases, yeah, I mean it's like, it's okay. So moving on to the next form here, which is, I think, is a bit more interesting. In this form here, he is solid. I mean, really cool looking to begin with, right? Looks like a really sick beetle form, but it's got a lot of utility kit going on that'll help you progress throughout dungeons, throughout Doom Tower particularly. And yeah, he does have an okay, this is like the flip effect of his A1 basically, but onto the A2, he does have an AoE stun, which is really cool. Also places heals on your allies if no stuns were placed. And then for the A3, he has a provoke on all enemies. Also places strengthen and increase defense on allies for 2 turns, which is very solid as well. And when attacked, has a 100% chance of placing weaken debuff and a 35% chance of placing stun. So the cool thing about him is it increases this champion's defense by 1 point for every 2 attack when in their alternate form. So that's a really cool thing about this as well. So you could stack a bunch of attack and you could still have a lot of defense on this champion, or vice versa. I guess if it's in the other mode, I believe, and let's go back real quick. No, it's a little different. So yeah, in this form, you could just stack him with attack if you want to use him as a damage dealer. But in case you do want to go to the second form, I guess, then you would have all that stacking into the defense, which is really nice. But I think just like uses wise, he kind of reminds me of like a Skull Lord a little bit. It looks like he would be really solid for Doom Tower, just progression, content, etc. Even bosses per se. But yeah, he's not really like one of the better mythical champions, but I think he's a cool one to have. So moving on to the next one here, we just did the Dark Elf. So moving on to Night Revenant. Now, this is the creme de la creme, the one you would want if you were to pull. I didn't want to click this, but I'm going to click this for you guys because I wanted to keep this on a red dot. So let's go ahead and click it for the first time. Crixia, who I call baby number 2 or baby 2.0, because my baby number 0.1 is Yumiko, of course. But Nightwing Crixia is the one that I've been trying to go for, and I finally got her, I think like last week or something. But she is an absolute beast. And if you look at, I guess, like the top of Arena right now in Plat Arena finishes, she is in among the top mixes of like top 4, top 5, whatever, if people have them on defense. And the reason being is because she is just really versatile. She is kind of like a Yumiko. I mean, she's basically like a Yumiko warlord, but different. So I did do a guide on her as well, so I won't go too in depth about her, because in case you guys do want to check out the video that I posted doing like, I guess, like actual live gameplay of her. But basically, the coolest thing about her that I'll just get to is she does have a what do you call it? A increased cooldown of all enemies by skills by 3 turns, right? Which is basically like a warlord ability, right? But the really cool thing about her as well is you don't have to build her in resistance in case, like, let's say someone locks her out, right? The one thing about mythical champions is once you lock them out in one form, this part right here, the metamorph, this does not get locked out. So A1, A2, A3 might get locked out, but you could still click metamorph, and then once she gets locked out, let's say the opponent goes first, then you could just flip to the second mode, and then you'll have all your other abilities still available. So then what happens here is if you were locked out and your whole team is locked out, then you would just go to here, remove all debuffs from allies, and decrease the cooldown of all ally skills except this champion by 3 turns. So basically, again, after you get locked out, you go with your Nightwing Crixia, you hit Metamorph, and then you click this ability here, A3, and then your champions are all refreshed, all their cooldowns are back, and you're good to go. So that's one thing that's really cool about this ability here. And yeah, so as far as the rest of her kit, make sure to check out my video if you guys want to see an full in-depth video for her. But she is definitely the one that a lot of people are going to want to go for, simply because the cooldown reset accessibility, which is really helpful in dungeons, of course, like just every content in the game. And then even if you wanted to use her as like your lockout champion, unfortunately, the one thing that's bad about her is remove all buffs from enemies. This will trigger a sheep. So if, let's say your enemy has sheep on their defense for arena, and you do end up using this and she ends up getting sheep, then this part won't go off. So that's the one bad thing about her, but you could still use her in that aspect if you want to, I don't know, just push more, I guess. But overall, she's still really insane. So moving on to the next champion here, it's going to be over the doors. We got Frony. Now this is my first ever mythical champion I've ever pulled on my account, and I happen to have 3 of them. And I think I also have like 2 6-star Wickedings for him. But yeah, he's really cool. He does hit pretty hard. This guy's actually really good in live arena. He does he does a lot of damage. So he kind of reminds me like a Mountain King almost. He is also HP based. He's got a lot going on. He's got the AoE. He's got a lot of single target hits as well. But over to his second form is the defense form, where he turns into like basically like a tank, a juggernaut, right? And yeah, I mean, this is defense based, so you would have to build him one way or another, I guess. But he does have an unkillable as well that he places on himself, along with ally protection. So really versatile in that aspect, and also has reflect damage, which is pretty cool. But yeah, pretty cool. So moving on to the next one as well. I think we're pretty close to finishing. Oh, Lady Mikage, of course. So this one is from the mythical, or from the Shadowkin faction, and this is actually a free champion that everybody has access to. That's you can fuse, right? It's one of the cool things they added to the game. Now, Lady Mikage is really cool. She's a really wonderful support champion, and she's good in like almost all aspects of the game. So I'm not going to talk too much about her here, but yeah, she has 2 forms here. She turns into a spider form as well. But one place that she's really solid is for like speed, run, like Fire Knight stage 10 hard, and some other areas. I mean, you could utilize her anywhere really, but another solid one that you probably don't want to pull because she's a free fusion that you can fuse, right? So yeah, so not one you want to be pulling, but just I guess we'll just go over real quick. Arbeus, another pretty cool champion that a lot of arena players are using on defense. Really solid as well. I don't have her. She's one of the ones I haven't pulled yet, but increased duration of all buffs, fills turn meter, increased accuracy, increased attack, attack all enemies. Okay, AoE attack 1. Has a place block active skills, and I think her more interesting one is her second form, 25%, pretty solid. Yeah, one of the best speed speed base in the game. That's really crazy, and has a 30% chance of placing petrification debuff on attacker for 1 turn whenever ally is attacked under revive on death placed by the champion. Okay, so I think her second form is the more interesting form. Oh, turns into a monster. To decrease turn meter. Attacks all enemies, leech HP burn. Plays a taunt. Okay, plays a taunt buff on the champion for 2 turns as well as stone skin for 1 turn. Okay, that's interesting. So I see the merits of using her in some areas. Yeah, so these are the overall champions you would be getting. I don't think you should be too disappointed no matter what mythical champion you pull. But I mean, unless you pull this one, to be honest, because again, she's a free fusion. But overall, I think 2x summons is really cool and really nice to have in the game. And like I said, I don't think they'll be doing any like 10x summons anytime soon. But in case they do, I mean, that's something else to look forward to, I guess. But if you guys were to pull, which one are you most interested in going for on Monday, I guess? Because there's a 2x Primal summons. Obviously, like I said, this is the one that I'm sure a lot of people are gonna gun for. But yeah, let me know that in the comment section down below. What do you have currently? Where do you use that mythical champion? Or if you guys are going to be pulling for the Cyber Monday 2x summoning event, what champion are you most looking forward to getting? Not maybe because maybe because you want it for looks or something, or maybe because you just want it because you want it. I don't know. But let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate all the love and support you guys always show me, and I just really thankful for all the prayers out there for just me dealing with my circumstance right now with my potential stomach ulcer or whatever. But hopefully I find out more tomorrow from the doctor. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate you so much for just all the love and support. If you guys do enjoy my content, please make sure to subscribe, drop a like on this video, and I'll see you all in the next video.